Are demons real? Do they exist? Well, we're going to find out today because we are doing a review of the movie Nefarious. Or is it Mr. Nefarious? I can't remember, but we'll find out today on Two Geeks and a Microphone.
Hello there. So who talks first? You talk first? I talk first?
I'll talk first, everybody, today. Hey, welcome to the show, Two Geeks and a Microphone. I am your co-host, Mr. Stephen Boster, along with the one, the only, the most illustrious Mr. Michael Shanks. Oh, he is also an author, too, now, which is pretty sweet. Mike, say hey to everybody.
Good morning to all you geeks in geekdom land. I got everything working this morning. Yay.
Yay.
Intro worked. All our little sound bites worked. Yay.
We're learning. We're learning.
I've been learned. I got me an education.
Right on.
Oh. All right.
All right, let's do this today, everybody. We've got a jam-packed show for you today because Stephen is going to be eating crow today with our good old friends from the Three Geeky Dads. Brian sent me a wonderful chat. We'll talk about that in just a few moments. We got so busy talking about other stuff, Mike. Do you have Geekdar today?
I got one item I can show for you.
Okay, cool. So
I got something that's kind of cool.
We'll chit chat about that. I only have one item on Geeky News that I'm bringing to the table that I saw, but I don't even have it prepped. So I'm just going to talk about it and get your opinion on it. It's going to be great.
That's good because I haven't had Geeky News in a while, really. I mean,
well,
other than our own stuff. Yeah,
and then we'll talk about the movie Nefarious. I don't know how you say it, but I laugh because when I said it, I remembered from I Love Despicable Me. And so the one character who drives the little motor scooter that doesn't go anywhere kind of a thing, Mr. Nefarious, I think is his name. Anyway, so I laughed about that. But I'm excited about today's topic because it moves into a whole lot of different realms, and both Mike and I saved it for the podcast. Mike watched this movie for me because I watched it Halloween night, and so we're going to chat about it and stuff today. So how shall we begin, my friend?
I'm trying to get back to the layers. Okay. So you said you had Geeky News, so let's jump into that.
Okay, I'll do Geeky News real quick. And the rest of our show is just that over and over again.
See, that's what I get for bragging about having everything.
Yeah, right? That's okay. So
Evie Muck says, "Oh yeah, hold my beer."
Right. Well, evidently it has. It seems that I think it was Inverse Online stated this came out 2 days ago. An article. I'll bring it up. I'll share my screen, and so everybody can see their article, and I'll talk through it just ever so briefly. Is that technically Star Wars Episode 10 is going to happen, but it is not with the Star Wars or the Skywalker saga. So they're going to go outside the realm of that. Now, the interesting thing about this for me personally was it is the guy who was the executive producer on Deadpool and Wolverine. His name is Simon Kinberg. He is the same guy who did, if I remember correctly, he's the same guy who did Wolverine Logan. If you haven't seen Logan, it's kind of the story of where Wolverine dies kind of a thing in one world. It's kind of the Deadpool versus Wolverine kind of makes fun of it a little bit. Well, what does that movie not make fun of, really?
Right.
But here's what it says. He goes, Kinberg also has Star Wars experience having created Rebels with Dave Filoni.
Hmm.
Star Wars is my religion, he told Inverse in 2023. And with Rebels, he got to write a few verses of the Bible.
Nice.
No. Kinberg now gets to take charge of the whole Testament, although the subject matter is unclear. Considering the trilogy continued the numbered sequence, it will presumably take place after the sequels, but that could conflict with Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy's Rey-focused sequel movie, which who knows if that will still happen or not, to be open with you, in my mind. Perhaps, like with Rebels, it will focus on the unsung heroes of the Resistance, or maybe it'll start completely from scratch in a new era, filling any gaps with flashbacks and dialogue. This trilogy joined several other Star Wars movies still in development alongside the Rey movie. Filoni will direct a movie wrapping up the Mandoverse saga that's dominated Star Wars TV, a movie separate from Jon Favreau's Mandalorian and Grogu, which has already finished filming. James Mangold, now he's the guy who directed Logan, Kinberg's Logan, is directing a Jedi origin story movie. So that's exciting to me because I do like James Mangold's style.
Sure.
Then Donald Glover is retooling a previously announced Lando Calrissian Disney Plus into a feature. So they're not going to do a Lando.
Now, I heard that got scrapped.
It may. I'm curious about it.
See, I am hesitant to believe any of these except for Mandalorian and Grogu.
Okay. See, I was curious what your opinion was, and that's all I wanted to bring up because I wanted to see what your thoughts were.
I've heard reports earlier this week that we're supposedly the Rey movie is continuing. It's supposed to be a trilogy. They're touting the continuation of the Skywalker saga after they made such a big deal of the end of the Skywalker saga, which to me makes no sense whatsoever. And besides that, Rey's not a freaking Skywalker to begin with. She just stole the name, which I hate. But
right. Liar,
and then
he
I
said
also,
Jedi. Oh, sorry. I'm just putting my. I love Princess Bride. Everybody, I just throwing in my little joke there. Go ahead.
and I've heard that supposedly the Rey trilogy is going to be done by the same director who did the Dark Phoenix X-Men, which was a flop, and I question that too. So
Yeah,
I don't know. It's hard to say. At this point, I have no idea what Disney's doing. I don't know.
Right.
Honestly, I don't think Disney knows what they're doing.
Let me ask you this: in the Star Wars realm of the news, and this is upcoming and stuff. Did you watch the trailer for the Skeleton Crew?
I still have not watched it yet. I still haven't watched it yet.
Okay. All right. Everybody put in the comments, should he watch that trailer? Should we do a reaction video to that trailer? Let us know.
I've heard some good things. So I have not personally been excited about Skeleton Crew because I just didn't know if it's really for me. But I'm also hearing it's like Goonies meets Star Wars, which could be really good. Could be a lot of fun. I don't know.
I would classify it as Goonies meets Star Wars / Lost in Space kind of a thing.
Okay. All right.
Real quick, I want to give a shout out to Corey.
Hey,
Corey's Movies and Music. Hey, everybody, check out his channel. He interviews a whole bunch of other YouTubers, and they have some great conversations. I have on my docket for my ex-pastor watches horror movies that Corey suggested, right. and they were actually pretty good. So it was funny. I watched them with my wife Kelly, and even my wife was like, "Those weren't too bad," kind of a thing. So I got those on my docket for
unlike some movies we've watched here.
Yeah. All right. Are you transitioning to the next topic I need to do?
Oh, sure. Why don't we go into Geekdar? Let's go into Geekdar.
Okay, let's do it.
Control with the radar, sir.
What's wrong with it?
I've lost the bleeps, I've lost the sweeps, and I've lost the creeps.
The what? The what? And the what?
You know, the bleeps, the sweeps, and the creeps.
I love Michelangelo.
I do too. All right, let me do mine real quick because mine will just take a second, and I think it's going to take a little longer. So,
Wah, wah.
as I said before, I've been collecting the reprints of the original DC Crisis
Oh,
series.
yes.
And just this past week, I've got the iconic cover of Supergirl's death. This is just an amazing cover, and I love it.
Yes.
It's one of my favorite Superman covers of all time. But yeah, so that's my Geek Dark Crisis number. What number is this one? Number 7.
Okay.
The death of
That's pretty cool. That was the first Crisis, wasn't it?
Yes, that was the original.
That was the original, which was a good one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. Well, I mean, there was nothing like it before that.
There was. That's true. There's nothing.
It was pretty groundbreaking at the time, and it was resetting the entire DC universe because they felt that it was convoluted and it was getting too hard to handle. And
That's what happens when you do multiverse stuff. I'm just
well,
saying.
I mean, yeah, and that was a way of fixing the multiverse at the time, and then they delved right back into it. So,
Yeah, just to get those stories in. Yes.
all right, that's my Geek Dar. I'll let you go.
Okay. All right, everybody.
I still say Dracula 80 sucked.
So, if you didn't catch our show on Dracula,
Catch that? Dracula sucked.
yes.
Anyway,
I've got no follow up to that one. Let me just take a bite out of this, okay? So we made a comment when we did our thing on Dracula 80 1972, how the 3 geeky dads told us to watch it and all that kind of stuff. Well, I'm going to. Brian reached out to me.
No, I want to put a disclaimer real quick. I went by what Steven told me.
That is
Steven
correct.
said Brian suggested it,
I'm
so I
owning
went
it.
by that.
That is
I
correct.
also went by the 3 geeky dads swear that all the Hammer, or at least from what I hear on their show, they're always swearing by Hammer films. So
yes,
all right, with that said, I said my part.
I'm owning up to this, so it's my fault. So as I said, I'm eating crow. I am sorry to Brian and the 3 geeky dads that this is Brian's response. I'm gonna give it because it's great. I love Brian.
I ain't apologizing for nothing.
I love the show. So here it goes. He goes, listening to your Dracula 72 episode now, we take no responsibility. I'm not going to get through this without laughing. We take no responsibility for this one. I recommended the first Hammer Dracula, 1958's Horror of Dracula, which is a fantastic adaptation of the Dracula story. We did not suggest that you guys dive into Hammer's Dracula series 6 movies in. This is all my fault, you guys. Oh my gosh. Once they move Dracula to the modern age, the movies definitely suffer. Yeah, we suffered right along with them, actually. This one and the one after it, Satanic Rites of Dracula, are not my faves. Okay. And don't even, oh my gosh, I'm crying talking about it. I love Brian. I love the 3 geeky dads. They're so much fun. And don't even get me started on the final one in the series, The Legend of the 7 Golden Vampires. I didn't even get that far in the list. Oh my gosh.
I don't even know anything about that.
Which takes the story to Hong Kong and mixes horror with cheesy kung fu martial arts. I don't know. I may be down for that one. I love martial arts. So, okay. So bad, even Christopher Lee did not play Dracula. Oh, see, so everybody in the movie, my favorite parts were Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee. When they were on the screen, it was great.
Agreed.
He goes, you should have watched Horror of Dracula like I suggested. I'm sorry.
I suggested.
Yeah. I selective reading, I guess. I'm so sorry. You would have loved that one, and it was Hammer in its prime. Okay. Not when they were throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks. That's like you guys jumping into the MCU while watching with watching Infinity War first, kind of a thing. I said, okay, so here's the list of the Hammer
At least
films. So
Infinity War is a good movie. This movie sucked. I think Infinity War is not a bad movie, but this movie just it's horrible.
Yeah, the Hammer Dracula films are Horror of Dracula, what I recommended, then Brides of Dracula, Dracula Prince of Darkness, Dracula Has Risen from the Grave, his personal fave, Taste the Blood of Dracula, Scars of Dracula, Dracula 72. This is where you guys came in! Exclamation point. Satanic Rites of Dracula and Legend of the Seven Golden Vampires. Don't let this movie put you off for the rest of the Hammer films. Okay, fair enough. And so here's what I responded. I said, lots of laughs. I said, I will be sure to give you credit in the morning to clarify. I tell you what, I will start watching them as part of my ex-pastor's horror series and in the order you suggested. I said, I appreciate you, Brian.
No, he's going to start with that Kung Fu one. Don't listen to him, Brian. That's where he's going to start.
Yeah. Well, he's commented in the thing. He's here with us. I just noticed. Hey, Brian. I'm sorry, Brian. I'm
hey, wait a minute. Can we bring him on?
No, he's in the comments. You could probably, if he's available, we can send him. You can try to send him a link and see if he can come in.
Here, let's see if we can invite him.
Okay. Ha ha ha. I actually love the first 4 movies in the series. Scars and Taste the Blood are good, but not as good as the first 4. I just really wanted to hear Mike's reaction to the Horror of Dracula because not only does it star Cushing and Lee, but it also stars a very young Michael Gough who played Alfred in Burton Schumacher Batman films.
Yeah, okay. All right.
If you do not continue on your Hammer Dracula journey, I really want to hear what you think. If you do continue on, yeah, their movies really are a lot better than the one you recently watched. Okay. So to be fair, so I'm trying to be fair to Brian and give him credit and stuff. And I enjoyed the conversation. So
Brian, I just emailed you a link if you want to jump on and have your say.
Yeah. So Brian's watching us on Facebook, and here's what he said. Good morning, boys. I don't know which of y'all picked Dracula 72 to watch, but that was not the film we recommended.
It didn't send. Anyway. Okay, go ahead.
We wanted y'all to watch the first film in the series, Horror of Dracula. Any pain you received from the one you watched, you brought on yourselves. So no, Mike, it was not revenge for making us watch Werewolf Santa.
I am still gonna say subconsciously. See, he used his Dracula mental powers. You will watch this movie because he wanted revenge for Santa. Right. I'm sticking with it.
All right. Well,
that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, it was. I appreciate you guys. I want to give credit where credit's due, and we're just having fun with you guys. But there you have it. There you are.
Brian, I did what Hammer films. Here I come. Steven said, Brian said to watch Dracula AD, and I went, okay, I'll find it.
Yeah.
It's his fault. I blame him.
I probably got confused on which one. It's my bad. Blame me.
I'm trying to point at him. I don't know where he's at. It's all his fault.
Oh, gosh. So, yeah.
All right. We got the Dracula AD crap out of the way now. I am never watching that movie again, by the way.
No, but I am looking forward to Horror of Dracula, what he recommended. So I will. All right. That'll be fun.
That sounds good. All right.
We ready for the main event? Or do you have anything else?
No, I don't have anything else after that. Oh, shoot. I didn't bring it. Hold on a second. Where is it at? I don't know where the heck the main event. Oh, well, it's the main event.
Here we go. It's time for. Here, I'll just do it myself. It's time for the main event. There we go.
All right. One of these days we'll get this EV Mux thing right. Okay.
Yeah. So everybody, it's just a different setup than. It's just different than StreamYard. And where StreamYard's more intuitive, but I think EV Mux is more powerful.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. So
I'm not saying EV Mux is bad. I'm just saying we don't understand everything yet, and we're still trying to figure it out.
Right.
In fact, I think once we get things figured out, it will be much more better. Cheers.
Cheers. Much more better.
All right. Speaking of much more betterer movies, we are talking about Nefarious today. Now, this was Steven's idea to talk about this movie. And I actually wanted to see this when it came out in theaters last year, and I just missed it. I didn't get to, and then I kind of forgot about it afterwards. So when Steven brought it up, I was like, yeah, I want to watch that movie. That sounds like a good movie. I waited all week. I watched it last night, and it was kind of at the last minute. I'm like, oh crap, I gotta watch this movie. We're going live tomorrow. So, but it's pretty fresh in my mind, so that's a good thing. I will start off by saying that I actually think this is an excellent movie.
Thank you. Okay.
I was very impressed with it. I don't think this movie has a huge budget, and I think it's impressive when you can pull off a really good film on a small budget film. At least I hope it was a small budget, because it's pretty much just two guys in one room.
I think. I watched a discussion with the main actor. Was doing an interview, and he said it was 1/10 the budget of. Did he say Powder? Because he was in the movie Powder. He said it was a very minimal budget, and in fact, I bet you we can find out how much there.
But I've heard this is kind of touted as a Christian movie. And
maybe.
Okay. No, I'm saying that's what I've heard. It's touted as a Christian film. Now, if you take this and compare it to some other Christian films, not saying that all Christian films are bad or anything, but they tend to be very cheesy.
Yes.
And this movie, in my opinion, is not cheesy at all.
It's not cheesy.
No. So if this is a Christian film, and yes, it has Christian themes to it, I would say this is one of the best. It is really good. I'm very impressed with it.
Yeah. So where is what I want to do? Let me see if I can give you the synopsis. Okay. So everybody hears that. So on the day of his scheduled execution, a convicted serial killer gets a psychiatric evaluation during which he claims he is a demon, and further claims that before their time is over, the psychiatrist will commit 3 murders of his own.
That was pretty wild. I kind of had a feeling where he was going with it when he said it, because I was like, well, I know who the third one is.
Right. Yeah, that's where I went to. Yeah.
Right. So, but I wasn't 100% sure who the first 2 were going to be, so I was a little surprised at those. But nonetheless, the third one was pretty obvious.
Yeah. So the psychiatrist goes to the jail where he's kept, and then it's really an interview, but to ascertain if he is sane or insane, because the way the story goes, if he's insane, then he won't get killed, or he won't get he won't face death row, the whatever the word is, I can't think of all the same.
The warden said, he would actually end up being let go. And I have my issues with that, but
yeah, I don't know if he'd be let go. I think that's just the thing. But anyway, but
I don't know.
He would be executed. That was the word. But if he was sane, he would be executed. And so he had to come up. But there's so many great little twists in it, because well, you finish yours. I'm so sorry. I interrupted you. I was just trying to get the.
So what are we using for a scale for this?
Electric chairs.
Okay, I like that. I like Ride the Lightning, baby. Love me some Metallica. Ride the Lightning. I was going to play it for this segment, man. If we don't have the rights to Metallica's Ride the Lightning, that would be awesome. But in fact, I thought about it when the electric chair came up. I'm like, yeah, Ride the Lightning, baby. Anyway, all right. So out of 10 electric chairs, I would actually give this a 9. This is really high up there.
Okay.
I really like the interaction between the two. The characters are both very well done.
You're talking about the convict and the psychiatrist,
right? The convict and the psychiatrist.
Yeah.
both of them excellent. Man, the guy playing the convict,
That's
I don't
Sean
know,
Patrick Flannery.
he did an excellent job switching
Fabulous.
between a famous demon, by the way,
Right?
as we find out. I won't give that away just yet.
Yeah.
But switching between a famous demon and the actual timid character of the actual guy. Gosh, now I can't remember. What was it, Megan? Edward. Yes, between the demon and Edward. I thought he did a fantastic job at that. He was great. And I liked how the lawyer, very calm, cool, and collected until certain things were brought up, and he loses it. And it's like, yeah, I thought both their acting was just superb. Excellent job. And man, some of the things the demon was saying, I'm sitting there going, oh crap, I hate it when I don't like it when I agree with demons. This is kind of scary, man.
Now, in your opinion, is this a horror movie or is it more of a psychological thriller?
We talked about that last night. I don't believe this is a horror film.
I
know
concur.
I know it's kind of
It got touted as a horror movie,
Yeah.
but it's not.
It's not really a horror movie. I mean, if we would have physically seen him change into the demon and
there was more action.
Right, and there was action to it. Not that that took anything away from the movie, but you didn't have that. So I can't. I think you're right. I think when you call it a psychological thriller, that's a better description of this film than a horror. It just does not really fit the horror genre. I think that was a mislabeling of this film.
Yeah. I think because it was, it's a demonic kind of story,
Right?
And people thought, it's probably a horror movie, but I think it addresses for a lot of people there. If it's a psychological thriller, there's some really interesting twists in discussions and how they talk. I thought the dialogue was bar none probably one of my top 3 movies in dialogue.
Oh my
just
god,
just because it was very good. I mean, and it is a conversation. So how do you make a movie out of a conversation without coming across as, as we've been learning how to write, it's the whole show, don't tell. So, but when you have a lot of dialogue, it's a lot of tell, but yet it was more show than tell, for lack of a better term. It was really describing and having discussions, and real discussions, not just someone pontificating on things, kind of a thing. It really was truly a dialogue conversation back and forth that was very realistic. And I think that speaks to the writers. That the directors were one of the directors was also a writer, along with another guy who they've done several movies together. But the main author, his name is Steve Deese, I think is how you pronounce it. And I don't want to go into, I better be careful here, but he's the main writer of a book. The book is called A Nefarious Plot.
Yeah,
which I was able to get through my library last night, and I started reading it, and it's it's like, what?
When they talked about the book, my first instinct was, does the book exist? Because I was like, well, if this book doesn't exist, it should exist, and
it does,
and it does, and it turns out the movie was inspired by the book, actually. So, and my thinking behind this is, when you create a movie in this sense, and you have something that's mentioned in the film like the book, I think that you should have supplemental material of that book, because I have the same argument with the TV series Only Murders in the Building. I think they should have created a podcast. I think they should have created a companion podcast,
because it was about a podcast, and so you really got to hear what the podcast sounded like.
And I was dying. I'm like, I want to listen to the podcast. I'm a big podcast advocate. I love podcasts.
You are, yes.
So I listen to tons of them, and I'm just like, there needs to be a podcast. I don't understand how your marketing missed this. It makes no sense to me. It would have been so easy for them to do a podcast, and it's not like they have to do something like we do, weekly or something. They just sit down, record maybe 5-10 of them, whatever, just to go along with the season. And then what you do is you release those as the episodes come out, as a companion to that episode, just a little extra. And it doesn't even have to be anything very long. But so yeah, when they said that there was a book, I was like, well, there better be a real book. And sure enough, there is. So I was very happy with that.
Yeah. Well, I concur. I'd also give it 9 out of 10 electric chairs.
Nice.
Because that's why, I was hyping it up everybody. I was like, watch it. I was like, this is really good.
God, I want to listen to Metallica.
Yeah. It was not preachy. It was all contextual. So I know some people, that's why I said it's not really a Christian film, even though it takes place in a Christian world, for lack of a better term. So, it's just as a demon would talk about, they wouldn't name God, the carpenter, kind of a thing.
Right.
But it didn't go into detail and on a lot of things. It was, I think, for a lot of Christians who understand Christian beliefs and doctrines, would catch some of the things in there that are being discussed and how they're being discussed. But it's not, I know a lot of people don't like Christian movies because they do come across as preachy. And I kind of concur.
I understand that.
They put the preachy over the story, but this one put story over, over everything, and it's just good. Now there are 2 horror movies parts in it, sort of, but I wouldn't classify it as a horror film. There's no like blood gushing or anything like that. So I just want so before we get into spoilers, I just kind of want to give people the kind of the concept of kind of what you're getting into. So if you say horror and you think it's going to be, the demon manifests in a grotesque form and goes through slicing up everybody in the jail kind of thing, that's not what you get.
Yeah, so it wasn't The Exorcist.
Yeah, it's not The Exorcist kind of a thing.
We don't have Reagan's head turning all the way around and
and
all that stuff and vomiting beef soup and
right.
That's
right. It's not like that.
That's just gross.
I know. There's a priest in it. It was good too. The way they played that out was really good. So
I don't want to say anything till the spoiler section, but I loved the priest. Yeah, that's probably one of my 2 favorite scenes, actually.
The priest scene. Gotcha. Yeah, it was good. So, all right. Well, I guess we can move into the thing. We've given kind of the overview of the film, kind of the little bits and pieces. So, but the acting was, I totally agree with you. Sean Patrick Flanery, man, I don't see why he did not get some kind of award. Probably because Hollywood probably thought it was a Christian film. Yeah. And it's just, you can see that for the IMDb things. But gosh, he acted that just phenomenally.
He did. Yeah. If he didn't win any awards, he should have. We'll give him an award. you get the golden microphone.
I love it. Hello.
If anyone can print up a golden microphone for us,
we should do that. We should have like our favorites and do a.
There you go.
We could do that because it's November, so we could say golden microphone for 24. What a great idea!
Okay,
that was a good idea, Mike. I like that.
Hey,
okay.
Thanks. That just kind of. I vomited that out like pea soup. Anyway.
All right. Well, we are getting ready to move into some spoilerific territory. So if you have not seen it and want to see it, then come back and watch the rest of the show from here on out. Come back and watch it. So, and then make sure you comment below on anything that we discussed and what you like, but just no spoilers in the thread. And pretty please. And all right.
I don't have our spoiler sounder in here, so sorry.
No, I'm just kidding.
Anyway. All
I'm
right.
just teasing. Well, maybe we'll do the spoilers. Here's our spoilers. That's the right one. Sorry about that, everybody.
Now I just feel like I went into a dream sequence or something. Tinkerbell, is that you?
I was thinking about Dream of Jamie.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. Oh wow, I haven't watched I Dream of Jeannie in a long time. All right, Nefarious.
That was a long sounder.
Spoiler.
Yes, spoilers.
So you normally ask me what my favorite parts are.
I
Sometimes
do.
I struggle with that question. I have no struggles for this.
Okay.
Because when it happened, I went, there it is. There's the answer to Steven's question.
All right. I'm intrigued. Color me intrigued.
When the lawyer comes in, and
The psychiatrist, you mean?
yeah, the psychiatrist comes in. When he comes in and he announces to Edward or to the demon that he is an atheist, and the demon goes off on him, and he's like, "Oh, you're one of them, huh?" And he's like, "Oh, you think you're better than everyone?" And I just loved it. I loved it. I was like, "Oh wow!" I hate it when I love the demon.
Yeah,
That's wrong.
Yeah, it was interesting because it was a commentary, because it then moved into a commentary about just because you don't believe it does not necessarily mean it's not real.
Right.
Kind of a thing. Because I'm sitting here in front of you. You think you're safe. Just because it's like, yeah, it's it reminds me of the Far Side cartoon. And they're now introducing Dr. So-and-so with our Mind Over Matter conference, and people are clapping, and then you see the guy who's walking on stage, but he's hit a board, kind of a thing.
So much for Mind Over Matter, huh?
Yeah. So much for Mind Over Matter.
Oh, I absolutely loved that scene. I thought it was fantastic. I loved a lot of the demon's responses to him, because I'm sitting there going, "Wow, oh my gosh!" And when he asks the demon who he is, and he announces he's Legion, I was like, "Oh wow, that's where we're going." Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, for those who don't know, Legion in the Bible is a demon that Christ confronts, and he asks him his name, and he said, "We are Legion, for we are many." And I was just like, "Oh, okay, so this is like Legion is still here on Earth," and which I thought was cool. I thought that was a really cool reference. Enjoyed that very much, and then I liked how he was parallel with a lot of Christ, in the fact that the psychiatrist says, I hold the power. And he said, "You don't hold any power unless it was given to you from below." Right. I was like, "Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh."
Yeah.
So I'm getting a little biblical here, but but these are the things I geeked out about on in the movie, and I really enjoyed. I thought it was fantastic. Great writing.
Yeah.
Great writing.
It was really good writing. So tell me your opinion about the whole priest scene with the priest. You mentioned, you referenced that, and so
I loved how. Okay, so he calls for the priest. Okay, there's a scene where he thinks
the psychiatrist, I think, set that up or something. I think like that.
I don't remember, but he at this point he's thinking, okay, this is beyond my realm. We need to bring in a priest here, because I'm not,
on the theological side of things,
right?
Yeah, because he was still looking at it from a psychiatrist, a doctoral, scientific point of view. So let's see what he says when a priest comes in.
Right. Yeah. So when he first says he's going to call for the priest, the demon freaks, and the demon's like, "No, no, no." And then he talks to the priest, and he's like, "Well, I'm glad you called me in, because I've tried to get to him before, and he always refuses me. He won't allow me in."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then when the priest comes in and reveals that he doesn't believe in demonic possession, oh, the demon is rejoicing.
Yeah. It's like, woohoo, I got you now.
He's like, you know what? I like you. Because the reason I liked that, and I liked his reaction, it took me back to the movie Unusual Suspects.
Okay.
And
Okay.
which has one of the greatest movie endings of all time, in my
It does.
opinion. So in the usual,
It gets quoted like it's the Bible too, by the way.
yeah, you're right, it does. And I can see why too.
Yes.
You know, and I love the quote. It's one of my favorites. So in that, unfortunately, Kevin Spacey has been
He was so
dead.
good. He was a great actor in that movie.
He was a fantastic actor. I used to love Kevin Spacey's work. But
now,
so
hey,
Kevin,
spoiler alert, everybody. I'm just saying, if you have not seen Usual Suspects,
oh yeah. If you haven't seen Usual Suspects, please stop now.
Stop now, because what we're going to say is going to ruin the movie for you if you haven't seen it. And
it'll completely ruin the movie.
The best part of the movie is the reveals that happen at the end, and so I love it so much that I'm telling you, stop watching now and go watch that movie if you have not. I know it's 20 years old. I get it. I understand.
Might be older than 20. Maybe.
It may be.
I don't know. But
Megan, can you check see when Usual Suspects came out, pretty please,
yes,
with sugar on top?
Said usual.
Yeah, the
Usual
Suspects with
Suspects.
Kevin Spacey. So Kevin Spacey gives the final line in the film, and the final line is, the greatest trick the devil ever played was convincing everyone he didn't exist.
Yes.
And I was just blown away by that. And when the demon's reaction to the priest, or the priest. Yeah, it was a priest. Yeah, it was a priest.
Mm-hmm.
The demon's reaction to the priest when he says he doesn't believe in demonic possession just took me right back to that line. And, I was like, yep, that's the devil acknowledging that and reveling in that, triumph.
Yeah.
The movie is 29 years old.
I told you it might be an older.
Wow.
August 16th, 1995.
Wow.
95. Okay. So, so let me, where is it? So in the book, which is called A Nefarious Plot. So I got it last night. I was able to get it through my library. Libby. No. I got it through Libby. So your library. Okay. So I got it through the library, and it is in. I want to find it. But he states it in the prologue. So, now I can't find it. But he says that phrase, the greatest trick.
He does.
He does.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah, I don't want to find it now. I remember seeing it in visual. I'm trying to pull up my Kindle on the computer so I can give it to you.
That's pretty cool that's quoted in the book.
Yes.
So in the film, Legion, he has written a book.
Yes.
And his book, he's wanting to basically compete with the Bible, and he keeps saying that what's the psychiatrist's name, Megan? What's his name? I keep forgetting his name. But he keeps saying that he's going to write the book for him when he's actually already written the book.
So James is Dr. James Martin. He keeps calling Jimmy. And it was always like spooky with the way he said it, Jimmy.
Oh yeah, I love that too, because when James said, I would prefer to be called Dr. whatever, which personally I roll my eyes at that too. But anyway, and he's like, I earned that title. And then Legion looks at him and said, okay, well then I prefer that you call me by my title. And I forget what he gave him. And he goes, yeah, we're not doing that. And he goes, okay, Jimmy.
Okay, Jimmy. Yeah. it made it really good,
Oh,
kind of a thing. I mean, it was just really good. So at the end of the film, the doctor does take the book and writes the book with some editorial changes, and he talks about it. But remember who he's interviewing,
yes. Okay.
or who's interviewing him? Yes,
Right. I'm glad you brought that up because at the beginning of the movie, we hear a radio broadcast, and I'm sitting there going, I know that voice. I
Yep.
know that voice. And I'm looking
Yep.
at Brenda, and I don't really listen to him, but I know his voice. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, Brenda, you listen to him. You listen to this guy. I know you know who it is. I'm like, I think you've read one of his books and everything. And then he comes on at the end, and she's like, "Oh yeah, it was Glenn Beck," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's who it was." I couldn't
That's
think
who
of
it was
it.
at the beginning. I didn't catch it the first time I watched it, but I caught it the second time.
As soon as his voice came on, I mean, he's got a pretty
Distinct voice.
You know,
Yeah.
if you've heard him before,
Yeah.
you know his voice.
Yeah.
And right away I knew who. I just couldn't think of his name.
Mm-hmm.
It's hell getting old, people.
Pardon the pun.
I didn't even think about that.
But he holds up the book, and it's a nefarious plot. That book exists, everybody, and that's what I got borrowed from the library. So what's funny is, the author is, this is what I didn't want to spoil at the beginning. So the author is one of the writers for the show, Steve Deace, Deace. And so he does say at the beginning of the actual book, he goes, I'm not going to tell you how I got onto this, but it even says in there, they'll probably make a movie about that will lead into this.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, ha, ha. Kind of a thing.
See, that's good marketing, man.
It was good.
That's
So it's just like your podcast idea. They did do that. So, but I think I think he wrote the book, and then and then the movie came later, because the book, it was 2016, I want to say, actually. So it's an older book. It's been out there for a little bit.
Oh, and just so you know, I practice what I preach. I have supplemental material for my book in our Ko-fi page.
You sure do, by golly.
Shameless plug there.
Shameless plug. I love it.
Shameless for both the book and for our Ko-fi page. So please go check out our Ko-fi page. If you throw us a few bucks, you can get the supplemental material. I've got journal entries from Dr. Ethan Caldwell in there, and coming up soon is journal entries from Anya. Just saying.
It's pretty good too. All right, I'm gonna share my screen here for a second. Share. Once again, share my screen. So what I'm about to show you
is caring, Stephen.
Sharing is caring. Yes, I'm gonna make this bigger. So give me a second, because it's always
you keep making me bigger.
Right, I know. So this is the forward to the book after the preface, where Steve talks about how we got the book, and it's really it's one of the best prefaces I've ever read. But it goes, Lord Nefarious, this book is dedicated to all the useful idiots out there who made our victory possible, especially those of you who weren't even aware of the fact we were using you all along, for you proved to be the most useful idiot of them all.
Wow. Okay. This is good. Because when I was watching this, like I said, I had kind of throwbacks to Usual Suspects. And of course, at the end, it was Metallica Ride the Lightning. But as it was going on, all I could think about is a favorite book of mine, C.S. Lewis, The Screwtape Letters.
Yes.
And entry right there really reminds me of the Screwtape Letters.
Yeah. So Steve says in the preface, he says this, he goes, 2 previous noteworthy works helped inspire me to edit this demonic polemic into readable material for us humans. Randy Alcorn's more contemporary Lord Falgren's letters, which I have read, and they are good.
I don't know about that one.
It's a good one. It's the Screwtape Letters again. It's actually it's really good. And then the classic Screwtape Letters, which also inspired Alcorn's Lord Falgren's letters, by the inestimable C.S. Lewis. So
I love Screwtape Letters.
Screwtape Letters is really good. Screwtape Letters is a very philosophical read, for lack of a better term. It really is. It's very good, but you can't. It's not like you're reading Harry Potter. It's not something you
Oh,
just
no.
read all in one day. You
need to read that in chunks, because
Mhm.
it's letters back and forth between
Yeah.
a superior demon and like a demon in training. So
Yeah.
you've got Screw Tape, and then you've got what's the minor demon? Wormwood.
Wormwood.
Right.
Mhm.
Wormwood, which
So
also is a biblical reference too, by the way, from
excuse me.
Revelation.
So I used to have a copy of Randy Alcorn's Lord Falgren's Letters, but I loaned it out and never got it back.
It was
uh,
that good they didn't give it back to you.
It is good, and that one you could read at one point. It is a smoother read where because that makes it sound like that Screw Tape's not all that good, but it is good. It's just dense. That's the way to say it. Screw Tape Letters is more dense, but if you want to read Lord Falgren and if you really enjoyed it, then the next step would be the Screw Tape Letters, if that
Gotcha.
makes sense. And I'm reading, so I just started reading a Nefarious plot because I think it's more along the lines of Alcorn's Lord Falgren's letters, but I don't think it's like letters back and forth to a lesser demon as much as I think Nefarious is addressing you as the reader, kind of a thing.
Gotcha.
And telling you this is kind of what we're doing, kind of a thing. I think that's how it is. I've just started it last night, so I just only got through the preface, and I maybe first page into the chapter.
On YouTube, you can find oh gosh, what's his name? From Monty Python. Gosh, why can't I think of his name? Monty Python, Faulty Towers. Oh gosh, one of the most famous ones of Monty Python. He read Screw Tape Letters, and from what I understand, he does like the best audio version of that. But I can only find it on YouTube. I looked for it to purchase, and I couldn't find it anywhere to purchase.
John Cleese?
Yes, John Cleese. Thank you.
Okay.
John Cleese reads the Screw Tape Letters, and I've heard that he does the best version of that.
There are a ton of Screw Tape Letters,
and I could very well
Audible.
imagine John Cleese being the favorite one of that.
I don't see here. Let me do it a different way. John Cleese, creativity, Faulty Towers. I'm not a serial killer. Oh no, that's Stanwell. No, that's Cleaver. That's not him. He reads the Inferno of Dante. It's a Dante's Inferno. He has a reading of it.
Here it is. Screw Tape Letters, narrated by John Cleese.
Okay.
It
is not on Audible, so it's on YouTube. Okay.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. I thought I said YouTube.
You did. I was just seeing if it was on Audible because I was going to do an Audible plug.
Oh, that would have been great. I mean, Screw Tape Letters is on Audible. It's just not John Cleese's version is not on there.
Yeah, Screw Tape Letters, John Cleese.
If you want to hear John Cleese's version, you can go on YouTube and listen to it there. And it looks like they've even got it divided up by letters, even. So
it does. So you can do it in bite-sized chunks. There is a playlist. Let me do this. Let me see if I can. So I'm going to see if I can share this real quick. Copy. And everybody, I'm going to put it in the chat. There you go.
All right.
The first one. So it's in the chat now. So that way you can check it out.
So if you like Nefarious, I would highly recommend the Screw Tape Letters. I think you would like it too. Look at that. I did another Three Geeky Dads thing because they always do if you like this, you may like that segment at the end of their show. And so if you like Nefarious, you may like the Screw Tape Letters.
I wonder if Lord Falgren
I'm
Excuse me.
surprised that hasn't been tried to make into some type of movie or something.
Lord Falgren's letters.
Well, no, I was thinking Screw
Oh,
Tapes. See, I don't know that one.
It's hard because it's a dialogue, but yet we saw them do Nefarious, which was a dialogue. So
I think it could be done. I think it'd be cool.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to do that.
There is an audiobook preview of Lord Falgren's letters.
Ooh. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. Well, with that, everybody, sorry about that. I was just getting into the. So there, I think. Let me check Audible, see if it's on Audible.
All right.
Look at this.
You're looking for the
Lord Falgren.
Falgren.
Yeah, by Randy Alcorn.
You know, when you say that, I start thinking of Shrek and Lord Farquhar. The things that pop in my head. My head's not a friendly place to be sometimes. Weird things pop in there from time to time.
That's all right. I think
can't help it.
It looks like there's two versions. Yeah, it looks like there's two versions, but both are by Frank Mueller. Yeah, Frank Mueller narrates them, so they're really the same.
Mueller.
One was in 2010, the other was 2015. Lord Falgren's been around for 20 years, so the book has, I know for sure. So
Screw Tapes has been around a lot longer than that.
It has been. That it has. So yeah. Anyway, so wow, we've talked to all kinds of
Oh, I knew when I watched this movie, this conversation was going to go into all kinds of wild directions. So
yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, it was good. Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed that. Anything else, Mike, that you want to cover on what you liked or disliked? Ooh, the 2 horror points kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that. I'm sorry. So yeah, there's one part where he how shall I say this? The acting of switching between the characters, switching from the demon to Edward back and forth was just phenomenal. And so Edward gave out more info. So the demon comes back and is like, "Oh, you're gonna have to be punished," and sits there and breaks his pinky, and then is like, "What'd you do that for?" And then pops it back into place using the chains, kind of a thing. Yeah.
And then he was sitting there, breaking his fingers out of place so he could get out of the handcuffs and then start choking the
so I guess there's 3. Yeah. Cause he was choking when he grabbed the psychiatrist, everybody, he choked him and was like, "Are you going to do what I asked you to do?" Kind of a thing, and at the beginning, and then there's the electrocution. So that's the 3rd murder, everybody. I don't want tell you the rest of them, kind of a thing,
right.
but it was the 3rd murder because he knew he was insane, but was mad at him or frustrated with him and go ahead and wrote off on him saying that he was sane.
Well, and that kind of brings up something else that I really liked, because you had the point where the demon says to him, "Okay, you don't believe in me. So, how about this? I make you an offer. You allow me to enter you."
Right.
And he said, "No, I'm not doing that." And he goes, "Well, what do you have to fear? You have nothing if you don't believe me. So why do you have anything to fear?"
Mm-hmm.
And then when he was being executed, he looks at him and says, "Do you take my offer?" And I was like, oh, kind of chills went up my arms at that point. I was like, "Ooh, that was good. That was really good." And the other thing I liked, because you actually felt sorry for Edward at this point, was
my goodness,
when they
he
come
acted
in
that so
him,
well.
Oh yeah,
yes.
When they come in and ask him what he wanted for his final meal, and he's like, "Can I get a bacon double cheeseburger and fries?"
Yeah, and a chocolate shake extra thick.
Chocolate
and
shake
you're like, "Oh yeah, that
and then he immediately switches to the demon, and the demon goes, I changed my mind, I don't want anything.
Yeah.
Just to punish him. That's the
Just
only
to
reason.
punish him.
Yeah, he just did it to punish him. And then as it get closer to the execution, he was like, wait a minute, where's my last meal? And the guard's like, you said you didn't want it. No, I didn't say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, you almost felt sorry for him.
You felt horrible for him. You felt terrible for him. And then when the electrocution happened, you knew that the demon had kind of backed away so
he felt it.
He felt the whole thing.
Right.
And they even set it up like, yeah, it usually never happens on the first try. They never finish the job on the first try. It's going to take a second time.
And the demon, the way he described the execution, because the demon was the one because he got to choose his execution, whether it be lethal injection or the electric chair. And that's when the psychiatrist is like, well, wait a minute, I thought they'd done away with the electric chair. Oh no, the electric chair is available in so many states, and where I don't know what state they were supposed to be in, but
they were Midwest. They were Oklahoma, I think.
And he said in this state, they actually let the execution choose which one. And he says, I chose the electric chair. And he describes what happens with the electric chair. And he said, I couldn't see a better, what did he say? A better entrance into hell or
something like that.
Yeah, something to that example to that extent. And I was just like, oh wow, that's pretty powerful statement right there.
Right.
So, yeah, it was interesting. It was very interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, that was another good one. Even that, but then once it was done, then Nefarious takes over the psychiatrist.
Yes, he does take over the psychiatrist. They don't really explain how, because at the end he's being interviewed by Glenn Beck, and by that point the demon is not there.
Correct.
And that's when he says, I did write the book, but I changed it because I wanted it to be more of a warning than what Nefarious was doing, or Legion, whatever you want to call it, because he did say his name was Nefarious.
Also. Lord Nefarious,
right? Which, he had many names.
Yes,
because we are
from an ancient Phoenician dialect.
And then there was the final scene, when he walks out and comes face to face with the homeless woman.
Gives her some money.
Yeah, she looks at him and says, "Hi, Jimmy.
You miss me, Jimmy? Oh gosh, yeah. So, it was quite. It was just a good movie. It was just a good movie. I enjoyed it. Would you watch it again?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I don't know if this would be like a annual thing. I don't.
Oh, sure. Okay, that's a good clarification. Sure.
But I definitely would watch it again. Especially if somebody said they hadn't seen it and they wanted to watch it, and I'd be like, oh yeah, I'll sit down and watch it. It's that type. Yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
Got to get my underwear. Wapner's on it for.
Yeah, I'm debating whether or not I want to try to get the audiobook for a Nefarious plot. Yeah. Just to hear who does it in the voice, how they would do it, just to hear it versus just reading it. But reading it looks interesting. The book does. So I color me intrigued.
I want to, but at the same time I got to get through somebody else's book.
Right. Right.
There's a particular person on this podcast that wrote a book also that I haven't finished yet.
That's okay.
And then there's a friend of ours from another podcast. He's
writing a book. We should just do like I wonder if we should do like a little geek book community thing where we just talk about our books, and we can have readers to help us with our books and that kind of thing. Because that's really what we've done, because that other podcast from Nerdery and Murdery, with him writing his book, and then
so I'm talking about Jeffrey from Nerdery and Murdery. Jeffrey,
right.
Nerdery and Murdery. He said he was inspired by us, and he had a book in mind that he's had for years.
Yeah.
And he just kind of put it down. He got writer's block, couldn't do it, and then he felt inspired when I came out with mine. And and then next thing I know, I got this chapter done. I got this chapter. I got this.
Right.
And I've been reading at it. I'm not through that one yet, but I can tell you it's a fun book. It's really good. I enjoy it. I don't want to give anything away. I'd rather him give that away, what it's about and stuff. But I can tell you it's a very fun book. And I actually hear his voices and Zig's voice. Zig's his podcast partner. I hear both their voices when I'm reading the book because both of them are in it. So, but that's all I'll say. I'll let them give more details on it. I don't want to spoil anything. So
that's all I got to say about that.
That's all I got to say.
Definitely.
I can't wait till he releases it. That's going to be cool.
Yeah. So, gosh, I was going to say something else and all, but that's okay. So yeah, we're writing books and stuff. I am going through my developmental edits. So I've done my review of edits that need to be made, and I just need that. So that's the first half, going through the whole book. And then, so now I just got to make those edits, and then I'll have mine done. The cover's done and everything. I'm very excited about.
Oh yeah, I like
as well.
Cover looks good.
And
I got to see his cover.
You did, yeah. I haven't revealed the cover yet, so I
got my bookmarks this week.
Did you?
Yeah.
Very cool.
I'm excited about that. So I'm going to start handing out bookmarks, and it's got Steven created the QR codes for me. One QR code will take you to the
Amazon site,
Amazon order page, and then the other side will take you to my website. So
yes,
cool. But yeah, I liked your cover. Your cover looked really good. I was
they did a great job. We used getcovers.com is who we used for those, and so it was it did a nice job. They're great to work with too.
Yes, they were very easy to work with, I should say.
Yeah, he just email back and forth and kind of thing. If you want some, I think you get 30 days to make as many edits as you want, kind of a thing. And in mine, I had about 3 edits to make, but they were all about the back cover. They weren't the front cover image. I love the front cover image and stuff.
I was a little jealous of your cover, actually. I thought it looked a little bit better.
Oh. Aw.
I thought it was kind of cool. I was like, wow, this is a neat cover. I really like this.
They're unique.
I didn't even think up my cover.
Yeah. Well, I sent them a note. This is kind of what I'm looking for. And they emailed back saying, hey, do you want any religious symbols in it? Because originally I didn't say anything about that in mine. And I said,
oh, wow. Okay.
And I said, that's a good point. I said, I'm open to it. I would just love to see what you would create first. And they sent back the cover, and I was really impressed. So everyone else, we'll share that soon. Once I get the developmental edits done, I'll feel good about. I should have it. So the goal is, if I can get the developmental edits done by the end of November, because it takes some time, doesn't it? Holy cow! And then,
well, shoot, I had edits after we submitted mine, because I went ahead and ordered my pre-copies, which I had one here. But once I received my pre-copy, we found out that 2 of my chapters got one of my chapters got switched and doubled. So
it's like, whoops.
I was scrambling and freaking out. I'm like, I gotta get this fixed. So I was really glad that I ordered those pre-copies, and so I have a real collectible with that.
Yeah. So everybody, my story is not quite the same as Nefarious at all, but it is a Christian supernatural thriller. So I will say that.
Oh, when I
parts of
was
it are
watching
horror.
this, I was like, "Oh wow, this is kind of in the realm of Steven's book in a way."
Yeah, yeah. So, sort of.
Sort
Yeah,
of,
but yeah,
sort of.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. All right. Well, everyone, make sure you check out on Amazon. Look for Mike's book.
please.
Yes, which is
I would
called,
like that very much.
which is titled
The Immortality Code.
Immortality Code. Yeah, you're getting some
Rewriting
nice
the-
reviews on there too, by the way.
Yes, yes. Well, one of them was you, but
Well, yeah, but I'm referencing other ones too. But
yes,
you
yes,
know,
there were some nice reviews, and I do appreciate that. You can also review it on Goodreads too. It is on the Goodreads.
oh, you know what? I don't think I did the Goodreads one. I need to copy that over
No,
and
you
put it on
didn't.
Goodreads.
No, you didn't. You should do that.
I'm making a note. I'm making a note.
So please, if you buy the book, make sure and go review it on Amazon and on Goodreads.
Because Steven forgot Goodreads.
Don't be like Steven and Steven skipped Goodreads.
Right on. All right. Well, we better wrap up. Everybody, thanks so much for joining us for this episode of Two Geeks and a Microphone. I totally forgot what I was going to say after that. That's an age thing. What else do
You
I
got a
need
guest
to do?
coming up next week.
We do.
Yeah.
It's what's his? I see his booth. He's a comic book creator. Everybody, we're doing Invincible, the season 1, and then Tom Hutchinson, right?
Tom Hutchinson. Yep.
Got it.
He is the creator of The Legend of Oz, The Wicked West,
Yes.
which I got book 1 here.
So that's going to be our Geekdar portion, but he's going to join us for a discussion on the show Invincible.
Right, exactly.
I'm excited. I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be great. And everybody, if you didn't catch it last Thursday, just the other day, we did another with another comic book creator.
Yes.
We
Brandon.
had a great Staraki.
Yep. With Avalon Comics.
Yes. And that was actually was a fun discussion. We had a good time with him.
I'm having trouble with the audio on that. I'm having trouble getting it uploaded. So if you are an audio listener, hang in there. I'm trying to get it uploaded. Hopefully over this next few days, I'll get it finally released. But if you want to see it, it is available on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Rumble. So because I made sure I got it up on Rumble. That's all good. And this morning we should be live on Rumble. So if you are watching us over
nice
there,
job, Mike. Nice job.
Thank you and welcome.
Yes. Yes. Mike has been figuring out Rumble, and I appreciate it. So it's been great.
It's been kind of a nightmare, but
just because it's so different.
Yeah, it is. I'm not
totally
saying anything bad about Rumble. It's just it's different. That's all.
Yeah.
But we appreciate that we're over there, and we appreciate any viewers that we have over there. Thank you for joining.
Yeah. Make sure you comment below and say hi.
Yes, because we like it when people say hi. Right, Megan?
Yep.
Comes from another favorite podcast of mine. That comes from Lore. That's the way Aaron Mankey ends his podcast. Make sure and say hi, because we like it when people say hi.
I love it. That's
all right.
Cool. All right. It's all you, my friend.
Okay. So if you've made it this far, please make sure and go and like and subscribe on both YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Rumble, all those places. Facebook, I try to post a lot of funny memes, so on and so forth there, or any information about the show, about live upcoming live broadcasts, such as this one. And live, speaking of live, we normally go live every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. You do the math on the rest. We have started this past week. We did a live on Thursday. That was the one with Brandon. And we kind of started, if we have a comic book creator, we're going to do what we call Creator's Corner. And that'll probably be on a weekday night instead of the usual Saturday morning. And then that way we can just focus solely on that
on the creator and their work.
Creator, and not, go off into other subjects. Not saying that we won't go off into other subjects, because I'm sure we will.
Because we do. We have great conversations. Yes.
Hence this program. Hence this episode's already over the time. So anyway, so yeah, make sure and like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up and subscribe to us on YouTube. Supposedly YouTube claims that helps the algorithm. I haven't seen that. But please do. And with that said, you got anything else, Steven?
Nope, we're good.
All right. So with that said, please do not, Steven, skip this episode. I'm sorry, I'm looking for my stuff. Please do not, Steven, skip this episode, because we are much more better than the rest. Thank you for joining us today on the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast. Tune in next week when we will have more news and reviews. Until then,
May the force be with you.